no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. Say that to yourself every day. As I used to say to myself, when I would get up in the Penobscot building and I had to go into the bathroom and bathe in the bathroom sink, I had written on the mirror that I put up, just pasted up and I read, no matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it.
Yes, that is so true. Those words, we need to utter those words to ourselves every day, man. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I am going to make it. We don't know what it is that you are going through, but trust me, believe that you are going to make it and you will make it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Open Book right here on K Radio for the People. My name is Pops, and today we're starting a new series, man. I'm quite excited about this series that we're starting, titled Man of Honor. You know, we're going to be speaking to the men in the homes. We're going to be speaking to the men in our communities, the men around us. You know, we're going to be speaking to ourselves. A lot of these things that we're going to be saying, you know, it's going to be directed at ourselves and everything else. And today's topic, or the leading question today, is really, what is a father? You know, what's the definition of a father? I mean, I think we always just do hear it that being involved in conceiving a child or the childbirth and whatever it is does not make you a father. You know, it's the actions thereof and everything else. There's so many terms and so many sayings and everything else that people do throw around in terms of fatherhood. But we really just asking, we want to get into this one today in terms of what really is a father? What makes a father? What are the qualities of a father? And joining me today, man, is father to a king. Father to a king. Papa Els.
Yes.
Friend,
Good
man,
afternoon.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
I'm doing well, my brother, man. It has been a great day thus far.
Sure.
I'm doing well, and thank you very much, man, for inviting me into the back room. yes.
But I must say, this has been well overdue, man.
Yeah.
This conversation
Yeah.
between the two of us.
It has most definitely been.
Fatherhood, Joe.
Ah,
Fatherhood. We are fathers as we sit here.
true that.
We call ourselves fathers.
True that.
But do we qualify to be called fathers by other people? You know what I mean? What really makes a father?
I think the question as well, it's a great question that you started with. We say that we are fathers.
Yeah.
But do those that we think we are fathering see us as fathers? And I think it leads us to a great question that you ask. What is a father? And I was sitting here pondering, and, you know, Google is a great friend at times like this.
Sure.
So I went to a couple of quotes that I want to start off with before we get into the things. I want to greet each and every one of you out there who is viewing and listening to K Radio right about now. This is definitely going to be one of those series that is going to, you know, get into the hearts. We are going to go a little bit deeper as the weeks, you know, and months go by, for us to deal with what really is a man, what is a man of honor, and what constitutes of you staying in honor of being that man.
Yeah.
And I think it is we're going to start here. We're talking about fathers today, and let's start it off like this. Fathering is not something perfect men do, but something that perfects the man. And that is by Frank Pittman. And Charles Wordsworth says, by the time a man realizes that maybe his father was right, he usually has a son who thinks he's wrong. Speaks of the dad.
Okay. Okay.
So through the mistakes of being a dad and an unqualified father, through the steps of the fear of you being a father to a teenager,
Yeah.
that qualifies you to being a father. How does it do that? You have no way to stop your daughter being a teenager.
Yes.
You can't.
Fortunately, she's gonna grow.
She's going to grow.
Yeah.
You can't stop her. But what you do in her transitioning to become a daughter, and what you show her and teach her, even while you are scared, even while you are fearful, even while knowing the dangers that awaits her
Yeah.
or might await her, then qualifies you to become a father. A father, one, gives future advice. Doesn't give advice for now. Whenever a mother shouts you, she shouts you for you not doing something now. But when a father talks to you, he talks to you in relation to what you'll become later. So that is the differences that you might learn. That when a father speaks to you, he never speaks for present tense, but for future tense.
Yeah.
What qualifies you then to become a father is staying a dad until your son becomes a father. What are you saying? Staying a dad until your son becomes a father.
Yeah.
It is the replica of who you are to your son and seeing him become then a father to his son. That you then could be given a badge of honor to say that you have fathered this son. Now we see the replica of him
Yeah.
becoming a father himself.
You see, another thing is this now. What if I was not raised by a good father? What if the examples that relate for me were not good?
Yeah.
My point of reference
Yeah.
in terms of being a father.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I'm going to replicate all those things.
True. True.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, just on what you just said now, that a father remains a father up until his son becomes a father, and you know we're kind of judged on that whole thing,
Yeah.
right? We'll deal with. Let's look at corporal punishment, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So I was raised. I was given hidings growing up, and whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I get beaten up for walking in the house with some mud. I mean, as a child, you go outside and you play.
Yeah.
You walk in, obviously, you're going to have dirt and mud on you, whatever, and you get beaten up for that.
Yeah.
You get beaten up for all these things and everything else. You grow up in fear, and you think that, oh, okay, my children need to fear me as well. So you try and instill those very same things in there.
Mm.
Does that then still make me a good father? You know, does it make my father a good one? You know? And it's a cycle, obviously, that would need to be broken.
Mm.
But where and how and by who? Because if I don't notice and realize that no matter what I'm doing here is wrong, or it's not the, you know, it's not the proper way for the situation and everything else, I'm going to continue doing that.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's going to be, but I got hidings. Look at me. I turned out well.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, this child must get hidings as well.
The unfortunate part when it comes to parents is that we don't choose them. That is the unfortunate part. You don't choose your mom. You don't choose the skin color. You don't choose where you're gonna be born.
Yeah.
You don't choose, you know, your mother or your father, your sisters, your siblings. You don't choose those people. They are given to you. Yes, it is sad and it is a reality that in other homes you get terrible fathers.
True.
Terrible. You know, but they are terrible probably because of a circumstance that had happened to them earlier in their life. And hence then the osmosis from one generation to the next generation had happened. But now you find yourself at this position of your life. You are kind of getting some green light as per what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
And you understand that, but dad did not give me quite good lessons in life.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit there and blame him for the rest of your life. Remember, now you have a choice.
Sure.
You can sit there and blame him and say, Dad did not do me well. Dad did not give me enough material. Dad did not give me, you know, enough wisdom to deal with certain things. Because even when a son becomes a father, he's still a son to his father.
There we go.
It never changes.
Yeah, you never grow up to it.
You never grow up to that. But what you can grow up to is becoming something different from what your father is. And I think one of sometimes the mistakes that we make as children is that we never know the lessons that is taught when we were beaten.
Yes.
Like, what lesson did mom try to teach me?
What is that lesson?
Yeah, when she was hitting me because I came with mud in the house. Yes, I, dirtied the floor, but what is the lesson in there? And sometimes we take those lessons wrongly. My mom hates me. She just beats me. My dad shouts me all the time. He just does not care.
Yeah.
He demeans me. But what is it? Have you ever sat with him and tried asking him, what is it that you're trying to teach me?
Yeah.
What is it? And out of the dysfunction of him also trying to become a father, he teaches you those things.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say it's a 50-50, but it's two sides of the coin. You are not going to get a perfect father because there's none except God. And in that, you have to then take whatever your father gives you and you yourself add on to the knowledge that you will build from there. I think you really do not have the concept of being a father until it happens. Because we can have the knowledge and the book knowledge of what fatherhood can be and might be, but you do not have the experience until you become one. Doesn't matter whether by how, biologically or not biologically, until you have care of someone who seeks your protection, help, wisdom, knowledge, and the way you act, you will not understand it.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's different to different people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to move on to this aspect now, the emotional side of it.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of us, that for emotional support or for emotional lessons or intelligence or anything, you never turn to your father.
Yeah.
You never turn to your father. You'll always be your mother. You know what I mean? Very seldom do we as fathers, as men, show our emotions. So therefore, our children cannot ever turn to us for any emotional support and all of that.
Yeah.
But going back to that one definition that a father is an older man, who may be an emotional substitute. So I gotta step in somewhere else, and help you deal with your emotions and everything else. But I've never been able to deal with my emotions. I've never been taught to deal with my emotions. I've never been allowed to be emotional. So for me, being emotional is a sign of weakness. Therefore, I'm never ever gonna show that side.
Yeah.
That aspect in me is never gonna grow in anything else. So looking at this from a holistic point of view, because we've got to nurture our kids holistically. And I truly don't believe that there's certain tasks or aspects of raising a child that is only for the mother, and then the father must only do certain things. So the chastising and the disciplining, that's for the father. The nurturing, the emotional stuff and all of that, that's for the mother. It becomes imbalanced right there.
Yeah. Society has kind of carved out that explanation that you just gave now, or that picture that you just gave, that because when you go back into the olden days, mom stayed at home and was much more attached to the children, their growth. She's the one that picks them up when they fall. She's the one that is there to make them laugh when they're feeling sad. She's the one to cook up a little meal when they're not feeling well. Dad comes late at night with, being tired from working in, the industry or the industrial places. He comes home and all that we want to do is just sit at Dad's feet. How was Dad? He rubs on our heads. Doesn't really say much.
Sure.
Doesn't really talk a lot. But his presence does something to us that even a mother's 24-hour presence can't do. So that is the differences. But I agree on you on the point that we cannot just throw the emotional things to the mom. And it doesn't mean because you're a dad, there's functionalities that a mom would do that you can't do. I agree with you with that. But here is something that you, might have thought about. A man does not think like a woman. And it's one thing that us as we are growing up in the 21st century,
Yeah.
we tend to want to forget, and all of the things, feminism and masculinity and all of these things have come up to a point where we think that male and female are equal. They are not equal for a reason. And it's not because one is greater than the other, but because there's different roles that a man play, that a woman can play, but she's not graced upon that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I mean graced is that you are given the ability above normal standard for such a thing. A woman is given a grace to emotional stability more than a man. She has the grace for it. She can sit and listen to you talk about issue upon issue for hours. As a man, 10 minutes is enough, and I'm thinking of the solution already, how to tell you to solve the
Yeah.
problem. But a woman has the grace to listen. So we are different in the sense of where we are graced as man and woman, male and female. So it makes then fatherhood and motherhood, if you can put it that way, different. A father, and let me just give this quote here of Clarence. He says, "My father didn't tell me how to live. He lived and let me watch him do it."
Lead by example.
Yes.
Do as I do,
Yes.
not as I say.
Yeah. Hence he speaks less
Yeah.
and does the most, or try and does the most. And what then also becomes the differences between mothering and fathering is that, again, the father deals with prudence. Prudence deals with giving you wisdom and giving you knowledge for future tense. Yeah. So a father has been there and tells you then, do not do it that way, do it this way, for the sake that I've bumped my head and my toes so that you cannot do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the differences that comes between being a father and, a mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's looking at the qualities then that make a father,
Okay.
right?
Mm.
I mean, let's start off with respect and love.
Okay.
And as you say, as a father, I'm not gonna talk about respect and love. I'm going to find it difficult for me to emote, respect and love and whatever. But I'm going to demonstrate it, right? So I need to be there, and I've got to demonstrate it. And how am I going to demonstrate it? It is in, firstly, how I treat your mother,
Yes.
right?
And
So
those
how
around.
how I treat the other adults
Yeah.
in this relationship. You are going to see that and like, oh, when these two people say that they love each other, this is what it means.
Yes.
Right? They care for each other.
Mm.
They are there for each other. They do things for each other. They assist each other.
Yeah.
Right? When these two people say they respect each other, this is what it means. So when my father comes to me and says to me, you are to respect your fellow man, I'm able to draw to his actions and say, oh, when he said respect, this is what he meant. Right?
Yeah.
So it then says now those qualities, or the first quality, respect and love, and us, let's deal with that whole thing, and in terms of just how to demonstrate it in the house, and how to yes, there's different kinds of love, just by the way, but I mean just how to instill love and respect in the home.
I think one, again, we have to go back to how and who a father is. And because sometimes we can lose it by not understanding the person. Because if you look at the action of the person first and not understand who they are, you might perceive it wrong.
Yeah.
There's an example of a pastor, he's a bishop actually, and he makes this example. He says he almost got a heart attack the day he saw a father play with his children.
Okay.
Because in his household,
Yeah.
it was a taboo for a father to even laugh with his children.
So I have to be that authoritative figure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I step in, the mouse, the cat, the
Tulamsi.
cockroaches,
Yeah.
in wherever hole they have to be, it's cleared. Papa Eli's coming.
Yeah.
He's on the way. So it's you grow up with that perception.
Yes.
And the day he found out that it doesn't have to be like this, it altered his thinking. It changed how he thought or had the perception of what family and display of love should be in a family.
Yeah.
He even goes as far as saying that he has never heard his father say, "I love you" to his mother.
True.
He's a bishop. He's a pastor. And we would regard him as to know everything. But that was his life growing up. And he would seldomly say, "I love you" to his wife. Up until then, the green light hit him that I don't have to live the way my father lived.
Yes.
Though the principles are good, that you have to be stern in your household. But different things in displaying love and affection has to change for a man. Yes, it is understood that, we have been given the platform of being the head of the house.
Yes.
And that also, the structure is actually wrong. But we'll talk about that later. Man is actually not the head of the house. But we will describe it as later.
Yeah.
As to what head is. The emotional and the display of love in your family, you have to be open. Sometimes we are too rigid because we are told to be so or we are taught to be so.
Yeah.
And you find yourself being feared by your children. There was a time where I feared my father.
Yes.
Yeah. I would rather get a beating any time of the day from my mom. I'll bring the
Mara,
belt.
that man.
Yes.
But not
But
that
him,
No, not that man.
I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
for some reason, it was death sentence.
And I'm saying this in the absence of mothers in the studio or a mother in the studio.
Yeah.
But watching, I hope you'd help us. Don't you think that mothers play a part in that? Because when they find it challenging to discipline their children, I'm gonna tell your father.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait until your father gets home.
Yeah.
When your father gets home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So hence that whole perception of yo, not that man.
Uh-huh.
Ma, I will do anything, and please don't tell that man.
Yeah.
Don't. Do not let it get to. Please, you understand what I'm saying? Don't you think that our mothers as well? They play a big part in creating that persona in us fearing our fathers.
Yes. No, they do. They do.
Yeah.
Because, for them, in them doing that was to, I want to discipline this child so that he does not do what he does again. Not knowing that you are instilling fear of this man in the child.
Yeah.
So hence, whenever we do anything wrong, we'd first run to mom, then to dad. Because if mom could not do it and is going to go to a higher authority, that means that I'm going to be killed here.
Yeah.
I'm going to the slaughter. And the worst thing, this is what my father did. Oh my goodness, I think he was a psychologist of some degree. So if I've done something wrong,
Yeah.
and mom says I'm going to tell dad, and you'd usually call him while I'm there, and call him and I'd hear him speaking, and then drops the phone.
Yeah.
I'd be playing and I'd see him coming from afar.
Yay!
I'd run into the house and be busy. I'll be busy.
With whatever.
So what he does, when he walks into the house, he doesn't greet.
Yeah.
Just keeps quiet. Now you are waiting for it to come. When is it coming? Because when it comes, you can deal with it, cry, and be finished.
And we are done with it.
Yes.
Because as a child, once I have been punished,
Yeah.
this is over.
It's over now.
Yeah, it's over. Like you're not writing it in some book or no. That's it. It's done. We move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was so torturous that he would just sit there. Sievendelan would play. Nothing would be said.
Yeah.
Generation would play.
Nothing.
Nothing would be said. Now I'm sitting at the couch tired, Pops. I need to go to bed.
Sure.
But beat me before I go.
Please.
Hey.
Please.
No, he'd go
Stop
into...
playing these mind games.
Yeah, he'd go into his room, sit there. And I'm thinking, you know what? Ah, man,
It's done.
no, it's done. It's done. 11 o'clock in the evening, I just hear a tap on my shoulder. So, I'm telling you, hey, yeah. You know how children start hating their fathers?
Yeah.
It's because of these things. So I would get up, and my father, differently so, he was not too quick in the hand.
Yeah.
He spoke. And that's what I admired about him. And that's what I've learned a lot from him. He didn't hit a lot, he spoke.
Yeah.
But he had a hand as well. Yeah. But when his hand came out, you know that he's really angry.
Yeah.
So we'd sit, speak. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And, it would be resolved. And I would cry after that. Like, I would cry because I felt that I've disappointed him. And that is the transition of thought now. That instead of beating your child, if you can give him much more information and knowledge, that would help him much more than a
Yeah.
beating. Not that you should spare the rod. No, they must get a beating. They must get a beating. Jose, I'm waiting.
Hey,
No,
young
I'm
man.
waiting. Hey,
Yeah.
he's still young now. His mother deals with him. But not always.
Sure.
To the point that the child then fears you so much that he would never come and tell you when he did something wrong.
True. Never confide in you.
Yes.
Because that's the thing as well, is that how we're raised or how we were raised is you confide in your mother.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have this issue at school or whatever it may be, and all this let me run to mom's. With your father, it's something totally different.
It's different.
You're always just thinking, oh, I'm not going. It's like going to the Supreme Court.
Mm.
You get asked 49 different questions.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay,
Mm.
So that whole thing, we kind of do break it, but I think we need to explore it more, possibly, in the presence of a mother
Yeah.
as well, just to kind of why this whole thing where no, I'm gonna tell your father type of situation,
Yeah.
and the father do that whole thing. But another thing as well is that a father figure, I just thought about it in terms when you were just talking about the bishop is for me as a bishop, there are a lot of people, especially those that don't have father figures in their lives,
Yeah.
that would look at a bishop, that would look at a pastor as that father figure, as one who would give advice, assistance, support, and all those kind of things and everything else. But as you say, if, excuse me, if this man himself, he's never experienced love and affection from his father.
Yeah.
He's never had a relationship where he can call on his father for assistance and for advice and all those kind of things. How is he going to be able to be that father figure for me when I need him to be?
I think there's an experience, and we cannot shy away from the fact that God plays a pivotal role in shaping us as many men, in shaping us. Because being a man is stressful. It is absolutely stressful.
Sure.
More so because upon your shoulders is the responsibility of lives. When you get married, they tell you that this woman is no longer our daughter, but she becomes your family's daughter. And your family tells you that this has become your responsibility. You have to take care of this wife. You have to, nurture her.
Yeah.
You have to do everything for her. While you're married, it's quite beautiful. It's quite nice. It's only one person. Now there's children that is involved.
Yeah.
You no longer think about yourself. You have to, when that SMS clicks or when you get that brown envelope, it's firstly the responsibility that I have to fulfill as a father in the household, to my wife and my children. It's stressful. So now God has to play a role in the life of man so that they might not lose it. Because without a higher power,
Yeah.
man can't do it. I promise you, man can't do it. There's a lot of men, and maybe this I'm running too much ahead of myself, but there's a lot of men that has quit in discouragement, not because they did not have what it takes to become a man, but because life can discourage you so much so that you feel useless.
Yeah.
You feel that you can't anymore do it. And sometimes they might call you a weak man. It's not that. It's not that you are a weak man. But life can discourage you so much that you feel, what is the use of doing this anymore? Fathers that run away.
Yeah.
Fathers that choose not to take part in their children's life. It's not right. We're not condoning it. But what led them to do that? If we could sit down and ask ourselves, what led you to disowning your children? You are such a macho person in front of your friends, in front of your peers. You are a great businessman. But what is it that discourages you when it comes to a father? And, as you go deeper into the psyche of someone, you might understand there's little things that when he was young, he did not find affection with his father. When he was young, his father didn't really give him the time to even teach him how to ride a bicycle, to teach him how to play soccer, to teach him or to pick him up. And
Be
those
there for
things, yes, those things linger in our hearts. And as we grow, we only have beard. We make a lot of money. We drive flashy cars, but the scars still stay inside.
Yeah.
Because becoming a father, you can never ever go and study for it.
This thing doesn't have a manual. It doesn't come with a manual. No. Parenting does not come with a manual. I think if it did come with a manual, it'll be so much more easier. But the other qualities moving on to the next one is being a good communicator. And I think if you are not able to communicate with your children, if you're not able to communicate with your family, that is, then there's going to be a barrier that is created. There's going to be that whole rift and everything else. I mean, when you walk into the house, you're quiet. Everybody else is going to misinterpret it as you being all, being angry at everyone or whatever it is and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
When you walk in the house and you're sick, when nobody's going to know how to deal with that or interpret you and everything else or assist you and all of that. So it will forever there will be that barrier between you and your family, and I think you've got to be a good communicator, because if your children think that you are, or rather that you will lose your temper quickly and be judgmental, then they will have little incentive to actually express their inner feelings to you.
Yeah.
And there will be that barrier, which is just what we're talking about right now. Yeah.
We reflect to people what they reflect to us. And that is the principle of life. What you give me, I will give back to you.
Sure.
It's just like that. So in the instance of, and in our heads, it might sound and look right that as a father, I need to command respect.
Yes.
I don't really think you need to command respect, because a command is something different. When you are a father, you are not a soldier. We are not in military here. We are in a relationship, like you say. And God never commands anything of you. He never commands you to love him. He never commands you to respect him. But what he shows you propels your heart to reflect it back to him. And that is the differences that we need to pick up and understand. If I show this child more love and more affection and more attention, eventually they will reciprocate that to me. And if I show him coldness and silence, that's why he never talks to me.
That is what you're going to get.
Yes.
That
So
is what you're gonna get.
it's what we give, we will get in return.
Yeah.
And I think the challenges sometimes of being a father is that you have to dabble in between being an authoritative position and being easy at understanding your level. TD Jakes makes this beautiful analogy that when his brother and his wife was driving on a motorcycle, and as they were driving down the freeway, is that the weight of the person that is behind has a lot of control over the bike.
Okay.
We might think that it's the one that has
The control.
the controls, but it's the weight that is behind.
Mm-hmm.
So if the bike is on a turn and you don't turn with me,
You don't lean.
you don't lean with me, and you go the opposite direction, we might topple over.
Okay.
And that is the same analogy that is brought by in fatherhood. If your son and you are on a journey of discovering each other, you discovering yourself as a father and him discovering himself as a son, and you do not turn with him, you lose him. And
Sure.
then he'll go out and impregnate and he'll never say anything.
You do all sorts of things.
Yes, yes. You do all sorts of things, and the misperception is that I am in control. I have the
Yeah.
controls. But you never worry about the weight that you are pulling from behind.
Yeah.
And hence, when that is in an imbalance, you lose each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where most of us find ourselves in fatherhood and fathering children, is that, we are right. We used to do it like this in 1915.
Yes.
So why can't you do it in 2018 like this?
Yeah.
No, Dad.
1915 was a totally different thing.
Yeah, we have Wi-Fi now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there was no Wi-Fi in 1915.
We have smartphones.
We have smartphones now. So, even if you do not conform,
Yeah.
or you do not conform in becoming a father, but you become easy in terms of relating to the one that you are fathering. Hence, I asked the question in the beginning. Us whom we call ourselves fathers, are we being perceived as fathers to those that we think we are
fathering?
Because they can look at us and think like, my uncle is better than this.
Oh, yes.
My uncle speaks to me in a language that I understand.
Our
here.
next door neighbor is a better father.
Our next door neighbor is a better father.
Yeah.
So don't be fooled in only the letter I'm a father,
Yes.
but then you don't do the act of being a father
Yeah.
to your child. Hence, you always need to understand, where is your son leaning? Where is your daughter leaning to? That you understand the weight and the proportion that you have to give in relation to where they are.
I want to use this analogy as well of a car and a trailer. I've always just said to people, if there's one thing I find difficult to do in this life, it is driving with a trailer. And I pray to God that my family does not decide one day that we need to buy a trailer and go camping. When you're going straight,
Yeah.
you got a trailer behind you. I think it's simple. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Try turn, try reverse. That is where now you're going to find the challenges.
Yes.
Because even in turning, if you turn as you would normally, when it's just a car, no trailer, and whatever it is, trust you me, you are going to crash. Trust you me, you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
You're gonna scrape the trailer. You're gonna damage property and all those kind of things. You're gonna damage other cars and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
If you are just going to turn without taking into consideration the trailer that you are pulling. If you are going to reverse as if you were just reversing normally and not counter steer and all those kind of things, you are going to have problems. Right? So, when your child is 3 years old, they listen to you. You walk in the house, they run to you, hello, daddy, and they greet. Yeah. And, child just sits on your lap. It's beautiful. That's a beautiful time, Because, at that age already, they know, all right, no, let me not bang on the table. This is going to break. Like, they've broken enough things already around the house. So now they know, oh, okay, fine. If I do this against this, you understand? Yeah. So 3-4 years, as much as they're still discovering their world, but there's certain things that they do know already, and they tend to be a joy at that time. But as they grow older, the personality settles in. You know, they start developing a bit of an attitude. You know, they start developing characteristics and all those kind of things which you may not understand, and that is where now kind of like the curve in the road comes in.
Yes.
At some point you need to reverse and just kind of go back. Wait, hold on. When you were 4 years old, yes, we treated you this way, but now you're 12. You cannot be treated that way as well. But that reversing and, you know, ultimately going forward again, if you just reverse without looking what is behind you and taking into consideration that trailer, you are going to get damaged, and it may just be irreparable damage in terms of your relationship with your child. So, you know, just to kind of add on to that analogy of the motorbike or the motorcycle, that when we turn, we both have to lean to the same side. You know, same thing when you're driving with a car, you got to take into consideration that trailer, and that when you do take a turn, when you do reverse, when you do stop, right, that you the weight that you are pulling behind you. By the way, if you do stop, it takes you longer for the car to come to a halt because of that weight and all those kind of things. Even the speeds that you will drive at, you cannot drive quicker. I mean, before there were children in our lives, we could live fast lives and everything else. I mean, it's December now. You know what I mean? For me, it was a where I lay my head, that's home. You understand? Because I don't have any baggage. I don't have a trailer.
True.
I don't have anything. I can park here right now. There we go.
True.
But now you got this child. If you are just going to live that fast life, you know, what is it saying to your children? You know, that's what we need to take into consideration. But time as well, Joe. I mean, I'll take us, you know, in terms of our industry and everything else.
Yeah.
There are times and days where we do 12-hour days, 20-hour days.
Yeah.
We work on weekends and all those kind of things. So time becomes a challenge for your children, for your family. But the qualities of a good father is one who makes time for his family.
True.
And not just on anniversaries or birthdays or graduations. But just that hour in a day. How was your day?
Yes.
Let me sit and let me talk to my child. You know?
Yeah.
Let me learn, let me try to develop a relationship with this child of mine. That where are you? You know, what is happening? Oh, you walked to school, you walked home from school.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know, you walked home from school and whatever it is, and you encountered this challenge, but okay, what happened? You know, you never really do know what is happening in your child. We're present only when we are going to the park, because we'll take pictures and post them up on Instagram.
Sure.
We are present on Father's Day. We are present on the child's birthday, because we get to post these things up on on social media. But we never really do have time for our children.
And I think that is the most important thing as well. That time spent, or here's what Dr. Richie taught me. He says, time invested is much more important than time spent. Time invested is much more important than time spent. What is time spent? It's just you being there but not present.
Yes.
Just for the son to come and see that, you know, oh, dad bought a new car.
Here's he.
Okay, there he is.
He bought me a bike.
He bought me a bike. Dad gave me a 50 rand.
Sure.
Yeah, we went to McDonald's. But time invested is asking the question. So how did you get from school today? No, Dad, I decided to walk. Sometimes it seems like nonsensical conversation. But that is how we tend to get into the hearts of our children. Stupid things like, how was the global concert this week? I couldn't go, but how was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Dad, it was so amazing. I loved who and who. And, you know, whoever was performing there, I loved Jay-Z. Oh, Jay-Z, the guy that sings certain song, Jigga Man. You know, so you're interested in those things, and you invest your time in trying to grip the heart of those that you are fathering.
Yeah.
Because you can be a father and yet be absent simply means that you spend time with your children, but you didn't invest the time. True. Investing the time is trying to replicate who you are into your child. By what? By telling them something that is valuable for tomorrow. by instilling things in them that is valuable for tomorrow, by helping them, become much more better in who they are in life for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But because and for some reason, people can make fashion out of everything. Yes, we take pictures and all of these things, and we ask the father on Instagram, hey, so what is your child's favorite dish? Now he sends lol.
Yeah.
That's what he posts back, lol. So you spend a whole picnic with your child.
Yes.
Could not even know or ask what is his or her favorite dish.
What do they love to eat?
What do they love eating? What do they love?
I just want to throw this in there that, spending significant amounts of time with your children, it might conclude that you care more about other things if you don't spend time with them, that is.
Okay.
If you don't spend time with your kids, a significant amount of time with your children, it may communicate to them that other things are more important than they are, So if you're spending all your time at work, if you're spending your time, most of your time with your friends, with your hobbies, then what you do with them, what you are communicating to your child is that these other things are more important to you than what they are to you. So therefore, already, you are hindering the relationship between you and them. And the unfortunate thing is that from conception, the mother is already developing a bond with this child.
True.
Right? So we, as fathers, we're like 10 steps behind. So we kind of almost have to play catch up and all those kind of things.
Yeah.
So therefore, we need to make time. And you know what? I have a problem with people who say, I need to schedule time for my children. It woke me up, the one day when it was said as a joke, between her mother and her, between my daughter and her mother, where they were saying, hey, we need to check your schedule. It was a joke at the time. I left, and it hit me that, is this the life, and is this what I'm communicating to them? That for them to see me, we need to look at calendars and schedules and all those kind of things and synchronize them. Right?
Wow.
Yes, the importance in my job is this. I try to communicate to them that I do this for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's no longer about me. I am doing this for you. I am putting in all these hours for you because after a certain period, I want us to have certain comforts.
Sure.
Yet, right now, the developmental stages, the formative stages of this child, I am not there. I'm not there for her mother as well. So I'm not there for the two of them. And when they now need to put in appointments and everything else and, check with a PA at work that, when is he available? Is he available tonight for dinner and whatever it is? That then you don't have a relationship with your child. Then your child has a relationship with your PA. Your child has a relationship with your calendar. And we cannot do that. We can't do that to our children. So therefore, as fathers, we should spend time with our children. We've got to make the time, to spend with our children. But because of exactly that, mothers have already developed that bond with that child already. From the get-go, there's that bond that was created during conception, during pregnancy and everything else. You, on the other hand, what are you then going to do?
It's not a secret that men love work.
True.
Men loves to work. And the first thing that was given in the Garden of Eden to man was to work. They were given, before you were given a wife, before you were given anything, a cat or a dog, God gave Adam work.
Yeah.
He made him a manager. Yes, he made him a manager. Yeah. He says, manage this garden, name the animals, name whatever. You are the caretaker.
True.
And the custodian of all these things. So it is in the DNA of men to work. We can spend hours working. And that's sometimes what, wives, girlfriends, tend to fight a lot with, is that we really spend much more of our time in work than spending time with the family
Yeah.
and doing those things that are much important. But I think if you are to a point of scheduling your child in some sort of a timetable, then you the perception that you have towards them is then totally that they are just part and parcel of my day.
Yeah.
You know, if you schedule something, you know, we can see it in different lights. It might be an important thing because I schedule it, but if you have to schedule time to see them, because something that is scheduled starts at a certain time and ends at a certain time.
Yes.
So then you have allocated this much portion of your day just for you, to hear you out, to be there and to hear you out, and to, you know, spend whatever time. Nothing wrong with that. But can you then be with them over the time
Yeah.
that you have scheduled? And that is what we're just talking about here.
Here's the thing. As we sit here, we are aspiring to be men of honor. We're aspiring to be fathers that our children can be proud of. We're aspiring to be the kind of father that our partners, you know, want to talk about, you know, and say, and are proud to be co-parenting with. That we're aspiring to doing that. We don't have all the answers.
True.
We falter. We make mistakes. As I just said, I think my biggest one for me has always just been time. That's been my biggest challenge in terms of the time that I spend with the child. You know, the time that I do spend with the family and everything else. And this is the biggest thing. And I feel, you know, it's the biggest hurdle that a lot of fathers do get through. But friend, I'm going to ask this in the interest of time.
Yes, sir.
Let's put, I don't even want to say conclusion on it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's put a comma on this one.
Yeah.
We'll definitely need to continue on this because there's many other aspects, you know, we still need to get into and delve into the other qualities of being a father, you know. I mean, that of loving and disciplining your children, you know, and all those kind of things, you know. How do we do that as fathers? And here's just one thing that I just want to throw in. This is one quote that I just came across also earlier on, where this guy's saying that when a father uses or a father who applies Bible principles, they're able to communicate better with their children.
True.
So, you know, just that as well. We gotta get into that. You know, we have what I always just call, you know, a manual to our life, which is the Bible. So why aren't we raising our kids according to this? You know, all the principles and all that. So we'll get into that as well and everything else. But I think for now, we're gonna put it there.
Sure.
We're gonna put it there. Papa Eli, hey, Kosi, they're waiting for you. There's a hiding that's waiting for you, young.
I think in closing, Pops, or in putting the comma, I think what needs to be highlighted, both to children, first to the men becoming fathers, to the wives who are going to marry those men, to the children that will be fathered by those men, is that there is no perfect father.
True.
There is no perfect father. Inasmuch as we try to, you know, give everything of who we are to perfect our fatherhood into the children or into the wife or whatever it is, we are going to have faults.
True.
There's a father that could be good in affection, good in giving time, but he drinks a lot. There's a father that, you know, could be good in supporting and giving money and is there for you, but he doesn't have attention for you.
Yeah.
You know, so there's always going to be something that one to a next person is going to lack. But does that disqualify him then of being a good father?
A good father.
It doesn't. Because again, like the quote has said, we are being qualified into fatherhood We are not fathers. We are being qualified.
Yeah.
Because until you can give over the baton and look at your son, because your son tells you that you've been a good father, it is through your children that you see that you have been a good father.
Yeah.
Because you can't measure it on any other scale. A father can't tell himself that I'm a good father. It is by what you have produced that we can predetermine and give you the badge of honor to say that you've been a good father.
It is K Radio. This is where we're going to leave it today. As we said, we're starting on the series Men of Honor, and we're discussing and basically just talking and asking, what makes a good father? You know, what are the qualities of a good father? We've agreed that there is no perfect father. You can never be a perfect father. But I want to read this quote again in closing off today, John Green's one. The nature of impending fatherhood is that you are doing something that you're unqualified to do, and then you become qualified while doing it. John Green said that. It is K Radio, radio for the people.
The Open Book, giving you the truth and solutions only on K Radio.
Staring at two different views on your window.